Hey everybody, Lauren Carpenter here with FantasyPros, and thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. And in this video, I'm going to cover an article by our very own Kyle Yates about one of the most popular topics heading into draft season. That's right, it's time for top 10 sleepers. Now, there's nothing more exciting than when you take a guy at the end of the draft and he turns out to be either a league winner or he just explodes with fantasy points during the season. It makes you look like a genius and it feels really good to rub that in your league mates' faces. Now, we have a list of 10 players that you should keep your eye on that you can snag at the end of your drafts that just may be 2021's ultimate sleeper. And first up, we have Trey Lance, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Right now, Lance's ADP is simply lying in wait and ready to catapult as soon as the preseason hits. Once fantasy managers see Lance on the field with this offense, we're going to see his ADP skyrocket. The one thing that could hold it back, though, is the uncertainty regarding how long Jimmy Garoppolo will remain the starter in San Francisco. The bye week is most likely the outcome for when we see Kyle Shanahan switch things over to Lance, but there's still a strong possibility that we see Lance on the field as early as week 1. This will be one of the most fascinating situations to watch throughout training camp and the preseason. Once Lance sees the field, he's going to be immediately on redraft radar with his rushing mobility and the receiving weapons he has at his disposal. Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, Miami Dolphins. It was a perfect storm for Tua last year that caused people to question his abilities. Tua was still coming off of a brutal injury. It was a shortened offseason. His receiving core was underwhelming and also dealing with injuries of their own. Heading into year 2, Tua now has a revamped receiving core that fits his skill set perfectly, and he's had a full offseason to prepare as the starter. We're not at this point sure whether we can rely on Tua as a weekly starter, but let's not forget what Tua can do when he's healthy and has a solid arsenal of receiving weapons. He's certainly on the streaming radar as we head into 2021. RASHAAD Penny, running back, Seattle Seahawks. It's been a while since we've seen Penny in action, and fantasy managers are tired of hearing about the supposed breakout, which is why we're going to see his ADP so low heading into this fantasy season. However, when Penny is healthy and in the lineup, he could see plenty of work behind Chris Carson, which will keep him in the weekly flex consideration. He also offers tremendous upside as an insurance running back if Carson were to miss time, again, with an injury. Adding Penny as the RB4 or RB5 is a smart move for this season. Michael Carter, running back, New York Jets. The Jets have an often injured Tevin Coleman above Carter on the depth chart and a second-year running back in LaMichael Pirine that certainly doesn't have this job locked down by any means. With Carter's agility and explosiveness in the scheme, there's a strong possibility that he takes over this job a few weeks into the season. The Jets will rotate in running backs, so it's unlikely that Carter gets a massive workload, but he has the talent to capitalize on his opportunity. You may have to be patient for a bit if you end up drafting Carter in the middle to late rounds of the draft this year, but he could end up being a very solid contributor for your roster. Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver, Denver Broncos. Now, Jerry Jeudy was underwhelming last year. He finished as the wide receiver 44 with 113 targets, 52 receptions, and 3 touchdowns in a year that we kind of expected him to do a little bit better, even though it was his rookie season. Now, the biggest thing that Jerry Jeudy had going against him was the quarterback position, which is especially important when you are a wide receiver. He also was without the alpha in this offense, which was Courtland Sutton, who got hurt early on in 2020. This year, Courtland Sutton will be back on the field, helping out Jerry Jeudy, and his elite route running ability will give him the opportunity to be open to catch passes, whether that's from Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, or maybe even Aaron Rodgers. Also last year, about 26 of his targets were deemed uncatchable, and he also did have a minor case of the dropsies, as we like to call them. So he has an entire offseason to improve on his catch rate of only 46%. You can get Jerry Jeudy somewhere in the middle to 9th round of half PPR drafts, which is a little bit more expensive than some of the other players on this list, but he is definitely worth keeping in mind as a sleeper in his second year. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Miami Dolphins. Waddle has the draft capital to his name, he has the speed and explosiveness to make an impact for fantasy, and he has the familiarity already with his quarterback in Miami. We've seen rookie wide receivers step into the NFL and produce right away, and Waddle could be the next one in line. With Fuller and Parker on the outside, Waddle will be able to settle into the slot and take short passes from Tua Tagovailoa. He should see plenty of work from week 1, and he may even be in the conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Darnell Mooney, wide receiver, Chicago Bears. Mooney put together some incredible film in his rookie season, and there's plenty there to build from heading into 2021. He might not be a favorite target of Dalton right away, but Fields loves to push the ball down the field for big plays, and Mooney showed us the constant ability to get open time and time again. We could be looking at some big numbers this season for Mooney as Fields takes over, and he's worth drafting late and holding on to your bench until that happens. TRE'QUAN Smith, wide receiver, New Orleans Saints. If you're looking for a player who could truly explode this upcoming season, Smith has to be at the top of your list. We've seen what Winston can do for his wide receivers from a fantasy perspective, and Smith's skill set matches with Winston's perfectly. With Breeze's tendency to keep the ball closer to the line of scrimmage as his career progressed, Smith was never truly able to expand his game and be targeted deep downfield the way that he should be. Winston certainly has the capability of airing it out deep, and there's a path for someone else to step up in this offense. As last round dart throw, Smith's about as good as it gets. AMON-RA St. Brown, wide receiver, Detroit Lions. It's impossible not to be excited about St. Brown and his opportunity in this offense. With players like RASHAAD Perryman, Tyrell Williams, and Quintez Cephas above him on the depth chart, St. Brown has the talent to work his way into a starting role as early as week 1. With Jared Goff's tendency to keep the ball close to the line of scrimmage, we could see St. Brown peppered with targets in 2021. The scoring opportunities might not be as plentiful in this offense, but there's a world in which St. Brown leads all rookie receivers in catches this season. Adam Trautman, tight end, New Orleans Saints. If you're looking for a sleeper tight end that could absolutely break out this season, look no further than Adam Trautman in New Orleans. Trautman needed some time to adjust to the NFL level after coming out of Dayton, but he's got some big-time talent that flashed in his limited opportunities last season. With Jared Cook now out of the picture, plus a very top-heavy receiving core, Trautman's opportunity is ripe for the taking. It'll be up to him to see if he can rise to the challenge, but someone else in this offense will need to step up. Why not Adam Trautman? And there you have our top 10 sleepers for 2021 by our very own Kyle Yates. And make sure you're following us at FantasyPros on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, so that you don't miss out on any of the content that we're going to put out all season long.